Detective Conan, written by Gosho Aoyama, is a seemingly never-ending story, with over 1,000 manga files serialized over a span of 26 years, and the anime not far behind with it just being short of 1,000 episodes. There is a lot of content within the story, and it can be an easy turnoff for someone who's not familiar with the series. In order to rectify this, I'm going to be making a handful of videos diving deep into the plot of the show, covering one main arc per video. First, I'll be focusing on the vast world-building portion of the story, or what the fans have dubbed as the Conan arc, which covers manga files 1 through 175. Before we embark on this journey, I'd like to lay out some structure so you know exactly how things will play out. Firstly, I am basing all information off of the manga, nothing from the anime and nothing from the movies. Secondly, I'm telling everything while remaining as faithful to Aoyama's storytelling devices as possible. The genius of Detective Conan lies in the author's misdirection and ambiguity, so I'll reveal bits of information as if someone is watching the series for the first time. I don't want to discuss and spoil a plot point until it's revealed in the show. Thirdly, I am not discussing plot on a case-by-case basis unless it's necessary. I'll be discussing plot points on a much grander scale. A lot of small details will be omitted as I mainly focus on the big picture and the main plot points. Now that the long-winded introduction is over, let's jump right in. The story starts with Shinichi Kudo, a 17-year-old, soccer-playing, mystery-loving Sherlock Holmes fanatic of a detective. Shinichi resides in Baker City and lives alone in the house his parents left him. He attends Teiten High School with his friend, Ron Mori. Ron and Shinichi are childhood friends and have always been close, to the point where they have developed feelings for each other but are too nervous to admit it. Additionally, Ron is also skilled in karate, thus leading to a deal between her and Shinichi, saying that if she wins her upcoming karate tournament, Shinichi has to take her to the newly opened amusement park, Tropical Land. They end up going, only to be met face to face with a murder while riding a roller coaster. Police Inspector Megure, the inspector for the 1st Division of the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, or MPD, was called to the scene. Shinichi and Inspector Megure have a short history of working together on different cases. Inspector Megure trusts Shinichi's deductive skills with utmost confidence. Shinichi makes note of 2 suspicious men dressed in black, who rode in the same roller coaster car as him. Looking at the available evidence, Shinichi solves the mystery behind the murder, revealing the culprit, who was not one of the men in black. As Shinichi and Ron begin to walk home, Shinichi spots one of the men from earlier out of the corner of his eye. He tells Ron to go home ahead of him, as he tails the man behind a Ferris wheel. He oversees an illegal transaction between the man in black and a company owner, only to be knocked unconscious by the second man who snuck up behind him. Shinichi is then fed an experimental poison and is left to die in the grass. Time passes, and he miraculously wakes up, only to realize that he has been shrunken down to a 7-year-old child, keeping the same mental state of his previous 17-year-old self. He panics and runs home, bumping into Professor Agasa in front of his house. Professor Agasa is a self-proclaimed genius inventor who lives next door to Shinichi. They enter Shinichi's house, and after some convincing, Shinichi informs Agasa about the situation, and they both agree to keep this incident under wraps in order to protect himself and his loved ones from the dangerous men responsible. Ron suddenly barges in hopes to find Shinichi, only to meet this unfamiliar child. Unbeknownst to her, this child is actually a recently shrunken Shinichi. When Ron presses for his name, Shinichi blurts out Conan Edogawa without hesitation. Shinichi begins to use this pseudonym in his everyday life. Additionally, Professor Agasa talks Ron into sheltering and taking care of Conan. Ron walks Conan to her home, which is the Mori Detective Agency. It is here where we are introduced to Ron's father, Kogoro Mori. Kogoro used to work on the police force alongside Megure, among others, but quit to become a private investigator when Ron was still young. Although Kogoro is a complete numbskull when it comes to being a detective, Conan hopes they'll someday run into those men in black while investigating cases. Ron also has an extremely successful attorney as a mother, named Eri Kisaki. Although Kogoro and Eri are married, they live separately as the two of them tend to bicker and get into fights quite often. To avoid further suspicion, Professor Agasa enrolls Conan into Teiten Elementary School, where Conan meets Genta, Mitsuhiko, and Ayumi. They become friends and are often involved in cases with Conan. The kids dub their group as the Detective Boys. Additionally, Professor Agasa invents a slew of tools for Conan to use in order to facilitate his investigations while in his childlike state. These main inventions include a voice-changing bow tie, which Conan uses to solve cases as Kogoro, among others. A stun gun wristwatch, which doubles as an ordinary watch with a tranquilizer to knock anyone out, often used in combination with the voice-changing bow tie. Kick-amplifying shoes, which he uses to jump and kick objects with extreme force. GPS tracking glasses with various transmitters. An electric skateboard. a soccer ball dispensing belt, allowing him to create and inflate soccer balls with varying sizes at will, a detective boy's badge, which acts as a walkie-talkie, and super elastic suspenders, which can expand and contract with the push of a button. These are the main tools Conan uses. Some of these are used more frequently than others, while some hardly at all. Days pass, and Kogoro, Ron, and Conan are traveling by bullet train to attend a wedding. While riding, Conan happens to run into the mysterious duo who fed him that poison, and overhears that their codenames are Gin and Vodka. He makes the assumption that they are working for some underground crime syndicate. As far as other codenamed individuals, Conan bumps into Tequila down the line at a video game convention. Through this encounter, Conan learns that whoever Gin, Vodka, and Tequila work for has an interest in the world's top programmers. Unfortunately, Tequila is killed in an explosion, so no further information is learned about the syndicate. Continuing with more individuals associated with the Men in Black, we meet Akemi Miyano. She successfully orchestrated a bank heist of 1 billion yen in exchange for her and her sister to be freed from their grasp. When met face to face with Gin and Vodka, however, they seem to have other plans. Gin shoots Akemi, fatally wounding her and leaving her to die. Conan, who happened to be involved with her due to this case, arrives at the scene and tries to help her. Knowing full well that she isn't going to make it, she reveals to Conan that she's involved with a large, mysterious crime syndicate. The only thing she knows about it is that the organization's color is black, like a crow. Conan puts two and two together, realizing that she was working for Gin and Vodka, two large members of what he now calls the Black Organization. We then meet Shinichi's parents, Yusaku and Yukiko Kudo. Yusaku is a world-renowned mystery writer, while Yukiko is a retired famous actress. The two of them live in America, and came to check on Shinichi due to his current situation. Yusaku offers him to come live in America with them, but Shinichi declines, explaining that this is his mystery to solve. Given how much time has passed in the story so far, Ron begins to worry about Shinichi's sudden disappearance. She also takes note of the similar behavior between Conan and Shinichi. Although there have been a few times where she has come close to exposing his true identity, he has always managed to evade her suspicion one way or another. One day, a high schooler from Osaka, who goes by the name of Heiji Hattori, arrives at the Mori Detective Agency. He explains that he's a detective, and convinces Ron that Shinichi is watching her, somewhere nearby. Heiji then openly challenges Shinichi to a deduction battle, and whoever wins will be declared the better high school detective. Before they all leave for a case, Heiji pours Conan a glass of an extremely strong Chinese liquor called paikaru in order to treat his sudden cold-like symptoms. The liquor has a miraculously unexpected effect on him, temporarily reverting him back into Shinichi. Shinichi makes his entrance, and manages to thwart any suspicions Ron may have towards him. He also solves the case successfully before Heiji does. Before long, the effect of the alcohol wears off, and he once again turns into Conan. He has since built up an immunity to the drink, so he can no longer use it as a means to turn back into his original body. Heiji and Conan meet again during another case, where Conan uses his tranquilizer watch and a voice-changing bow tie to solve the case as Heiji. Heiji wakes up in the middle of the deduction, and corners Conan about it after the case is solved. Heiji threatens to reveal Conan's true identity to Ron, so Conan is ultimately pressured into explaining his situation to keep Heiji quiet. Conan and Heiji become great friends, rather than rivals, and often work together in the future. Speaking of rivals, Conan often faces off against Kaito Kid 1412, an elusive thief that steals priceless jewels. Kid demonstrates exceptional disguising techniques with both his appearance and his voice. In relation to Kid, Ron's best friend, Sonoko Suzuki, is the daughter of her wealthy parents, Shiro and Tomoko Suzuki. Their family founded the esteemed Suzuki Corporation, which is a common target of Kaito Kid's heists. Conan will most certainly encounter this mysterious thief more in the future. So that about wraps it up for the Conan arc. Hopefully this video was coherent and informative to watch. I tried to explain everything in the most efficient and less confusing way possible, so I hope it was easy to understand. Ideally, this will be the format for the rest of these videos. The next arc on our list is the Highbrow arc, so I'll catch you next time for that.